It's 8:03 a.m. in Costa Rica, and it is time for the GIVeconomy call. We can start with intentions and distractions. Mine are on here on the agenda. Most of them are pretty quick. I want to just talk about all these things. Basically, I want to like touch on QF from yesterday, make sure that there's no blockers for that, and spend like most of the time maybe on Giveth Pro, hashing through the details. But then also just like check on some issues that are like in these things: instant boosting, optimism, donations, give string, give power, treasury management, index coop. There's not much there. So yeah, and if you guys have anything else you want to add onto the agenda, just jump in here. I'm not distracted, and I will pass it to Santi.
Thank you, Laura and Jim. Everyone feeling good. No specific goals for the call, just touch base with everything that's going on development. And I'll pass it to Franco.
My intentions for the call is going to be streaming and maybe getting a little bit more details on the instant boosting thing so I can update the documentation. And yeah, that's it. No distractions. And I'll pass it over to who's there? Sorry, Monique.
Hey everybody, I'm not distracted and I'm here to think updates and try to engage myself more in pro and other stuff related to the DApp. And I pass it to Griff.
GM, I am distracted by making a smoothie, and I am here to just like see all the latest. I heard there was a great QF call and all these other things. I just want to stay up to date. And I'll throw it over to Mohammed.
Thanks, Griff. Hey guys, I'm here to hear about the cool agenda topics that we have today and answer your question if you had any. I pass it to Amin.
Hello, everyone. I'm not distracted, a little tired, but I'm still excited to talk about the agenda. I wish I liked Mitch and Matthew be here to discuss about the subgraph for the subgraph for what's Giveth Pro or other stuff. Also, the exciting stuff like deploying region farm on Celo, or how we can what's an also talk about next priority. Okay, Mitch is here. Hello, Mitch, and I pass it to Mitch.
Oh, Mitch is quiet. Let's pass it to Cherik, and we'll see if Mitch can unmute eventually.
Thank you, Lauren. Hello, guys. I'm totally on the agenda. Especially, I can talk about the quadratic funding and Giveth Pro, and I'm not distracted. That's it. I pass it to Mitch, or maybe Mosaidi.
You gotta. I'm like here, like mid pouring the smoothie, and gotta find the unmute button. It's like, okay, Giveth Pro. I want to talk about that. I want to talk to Amin while he's here in the call about things, and that's it. That's all I got on this agenda. That's all I care about. I'll pass it on to Griff.
Mo, let's pass to Griff. Mo.
Hi everyone. I'm here just to stay in the loop and no distraction. Yeah. Am I the last one?
I believe you are.
Okay.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Awesome. Okay, let's just like burn through these issues here on the agenda. I think probably the bulk of our time will be spent on Giveth Pro, but we can still just like kind of get through these topics. Just a FYI, there's a forum post up for extending the rewards for the Fox XDI regen farm. So FYI, I mean, Sherrick, we might be extending that farm. They're like gonna, you know, see if the DAO wants to like allocate more rewards to it. And I know it's not going to be a lot of work, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. And if you feel like supporting this proposal and like voting that you like think it's a good idea or something, you can do so in the link I just posted in the chat. Yeah, and then I mean, you mentioned a Cello regen farm. I think this is just a question from Katabe. I haven't been following up on it. Would it be a lot of work for us to deploy regen farms on Cello? I think we would have to like deploy a new contract and stuff, but is it the same as always, or is it more challenging in some way because of Cello being weird? Oh no, Amin is not here.
Are asking me or
Yeah.
Katab? Okay, what's the question again?
I was just wondering.
Deploy
but
and sell.
yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, it will be okay. It will be okay. As I mentioned in that in the issue that we haven't deployed anything, any region, any subgraph on Cello. It will not be a big deal because it's like others, but we should create the endpoint, you know, define it, register the endpoint on the subgraphs. Like, okay, for instance, we have some Giveth dash xdai dash GIVeconomy, for instance, something like this. We should define something for Cello. We can define for Alpha Joris also, but I'm not sure is it working. Let me check right now. If there's a problem, we'll tell you. But I know I don't see any blocker, unless the UI design.
Yeah. Okay. And so it's like, you know, in terms of the amount of work it would require, would it be a lot more work than just, you know, making a new regen farm on Gnosis Chain, for example? Like, should we consider offering the service but charging a greater fee because we have to deploy the subgraph on Cello, or is it like kind of the same amount of work anyway?
No, not much, but no, not more than mainnet. Because the only thing in my mind is the gas price is not much, a lot, isn't a lot, it's so low. And another thing, as I said, we need to design new UI to support Cello.
Yeah.
And that would be the cost and man hour.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Great. Okay, thanks. That's great to know. All right, I think we can move on to other things. I want to talk about instant boosting quickly as well. I think instant boosting is like already now. I looked at the issues yesterday. It seemed to be like either in code review or they were already on staging. And so I just want to check in like if there's any blockers or if we're gonna launch it on the 13th like we planned.
Actually, I reviewed all PRs and we have a preview link for it, and I sent it to the Mariam. I don't know about the result. Is it passed or not?
Okay.
But we have 3 issues and all of them passed.
Yeah, she was busy, you know, she'll start working on tomorrow.
Okay. Cool. And then Franco, did you have some questions on this? I did send you the mini spec. Basically what instant boosting is projects sort will change every 5 minutes. So you could boost projects with Give Power and then their placement in the projects page will change within 5 minutes. And yeah, so the default sorting is going to be like by Give Power, but it doesn't change the rank. Did you have any questions that you need for the documentation?
No, I guess just like which documentation should I be changing? Like, do you want me to create a new one? I don't think it's necessary, no? Like, I just changed the Give Power one, and that's it.
Give Power, yeah, totally.
That's where the boosting is. Explain.
Exactly. And you can even like just go through. Oh, weird. Whoa, what happened?
It's
weird. There's something wrong with our docs.
It's
Really?
It shows the GitHub logo for you. That's weird.
Yeah, it says the unicorns have taken over. So weird. Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, good. So Franco, you can, make some changes to the GIF power documentation, and you can tag me to review it, and I can just like make sure that it makes sense. Maybe you can highlight the parts that you change. Yeah. Okay, cool. Amazing. Thank you for taking that on. Yeah, so for optimism donations, I did this before my end of the day yesterday, so I just want to make sure that you guys saw it. Yeah, we need to track like the first 640 addresses. Okay, cool. So Mohammed, you think this is easy to do? They're like, okay, we got it. Because we basically need to send them a donation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a simple query and would return all the optimism addresses sorted by creation date. So
It's also only for verified addresses. Verified
what do you
projects, I
mean
mean.
Oh, okay. I can add that filter too. Yeah, good to say. Thanks.
And Griff, what do you think should be the process for this? Should we like, I mean, I can announce it and like share about it in comms and stuff, and then we just like wait and then do like a disperse of the OP, or
We don't have the money yet, so we can't disperse it until we get the OP. That being said, yes, I think just like a weekly disbursement or every 2 weeks with the round or something like that, and I feel like it could be something that we just combine with givebacks or something. Combine with some other process.
I can add another thing. We have already about less than 30 addresses for the 30 projects that have optimism addresses.
yeah.
Just for your information.
And it's Griff, it's 640 projects, because that's really a lot.
Yeah, isn't it great? Isn't that amazing? Talk about an onboarding opportunity, right? It's like, oh, hey, why should I add my project to Giveth? Oh, yeah, because we're going to give you 25 OP.
Yeah, I don't think we have 640 verified projects that aren't like giving block ones.
Yep, we don't. Isn't that nice?
Great.
So, like, it's like a great onboarding thing. Like, put your project on Giveth, get verified, and then get optimism.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna just tag in here. Yeah. I'm just gonna tag her like that, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. Great. And givebacks are already accounted for optimism donations, right? There was a little bit of confusion on the givebacks. Great. Okay, cool. GiveStream. I saw that this has already been added to staging. The praise.
But, actually, really quick, for optimism givebacks, how long do you guys think it is before we get optimism givebacks on optimism? Because like it might be worth holding back the givebacks if it's just going to be like, a month or something. We just like hold back the givebacks and give it to them on optimism instead of Gnosis chain. But it depends on what, like, if you guys have like a best estimate on how long that will take. I know that this has a lot to do with prioritization and stuff, but what is the current thought?
I think already I started working on multi-chain give power. But about the regions, the staking, unlocking on other chains, I think a month or two might
Well,
be
it's not about
reasonable.
staking and it's not about staking and locking. It's about just getting a give stream, like a token distro up, and distributing givebacks on optimism. Multi-chain givebacks.
Yeah, I don't think we even started this at all, Griff, because it wasn't clearly communicated that this is a requirement.
Oh, okay.
This is the same as like that other thing. And this is the heart of my frustration with the way that this information is passed. Like, I really don't think we even have issues for that. So like, where should this be on the priority list? When did we promise them this? What is the expected deadline from Optimism side?
The expected deadline is far into the future. They're very chill, but it would be convenient to prioritize the givebacks over the give power.
Okay. So I can create some issues for that. Monique, am I right? We haven't even started thinking about this at all, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was assuming that we're gonna have all the give economy features in different chains in future. That was all in my mind. But I was thinking about only give power, and I mean that already started working on making these messages from different chains with a single query. That's it. That's all
Yeah,
we
I
do.
mean,
But-
just for the user experience of donating on Optimism and having to collect gift tokens on Gnosis, I think is probably a kind of a challenge, I would say. So I'd say it's more of a priority than the give power. Like, someone might like to collect they probably have, if they have some gas on Optimism to donate, that's great, but they might not have gas on Gnosis chain. So if we give tokens there, it's kind of a bad UX.
Yeah.
For information, deploying all the S-stream stuff is not a hard thing. We can immediately deploy them on every chain. The limitation is subgraph. Right now, I'm supporting the subgraph documents. It doesn't support Celo testnet, Celo Alpha Joris. Maybe we should set up the Celo main
So
network and the
but
staging environment.
Celo is irrelevant because we don't have any. They haven't.
Yeah.
We're still working with Celo on the fundraising side. This is all for Optimism.
Okay. Optimism has it, but has the subgraph, so we can deploy it very soon. Only we need the UI design and the front end stuff. From my side, it doesn't need a lot of things to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Just deploy, create the subgraph, and yeah, I like to this behind. I will create that. That's easy. Don't be blocked by it.
Okay.
Okay, so then we could get the givebacks out on Optimism, like,
Yeah.
and not have to distribute them to Gnosis chain.
Yeah, only you should provide me a multi-sig who holds the control over everything.
That's the give.eth. We have that multi-sig deployed on Optimism.
Nice. And
So
we
then-
have the address. Does it have the same address or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
it's
has
the
the same address. But
Nice.
yeah.
So then are we changing the priorities then? Now we need to like work on getting this out ahead of other things?
I think it's more important than give power. I don't know what the other priorities are, but
Okay.
it
What
depends
about
on
all
how
the other amine things, that are out there? Does this go above that then, all of a sudden?
well, when is the givebacks due? When will we actually distribute givebacks for people who are giving Optimism rewards? Who are donating Optimism? I don't think it's the highest priority. I think that it can wait a month, and we just don't.
No,
It depends.
it doesn't
on,
take me a lot. Maybe only one day. So don't worry about me.
And we need to change something in the giveback calculation as well, because we should separate those donations and create another output for Mitch or Ashley to use it. We have
Yeah,
lots
because
of
right now
more than-
givebacks only looks at one chain. It doesn't separate by chain at all right now. It just distributes in this chain.
Maybe we can disable the tokens eligibility right now. Don't be worried about the script. and whenever we have it installed. And I think it won't block the front end. We can have it installed there, and we can distribute givebacks. Then, oh no, if they want to claim their givebacks, they have to. Okay, forget about it.
Yeah, I think we need like some small design things. I can try to like map out what would be required and make issues and talk with you, Mo, and yeah, I'll make an issue to deploy the token distro on Optimism and one for givebacks. And I think that's that. But this is the kind of thing that like this is why we need that like PM strategy sync that we're supposed to be having, like Mitch, Monique, Griff, like this kind of thing is very like and we have to look at kind of like what our priorities are instead of just kind of like sliding something in there and everything gets disrupted. But I will
sorry interrupting you, but usually these kind of things we keep it in the maintenance. If it's less than 20% of the whole efforts during the sprint, we can handle it. I know that it's something on your side to produce, but if you have a project that you want to keep it live, it may have some, impacts on other parts. And this give back is like that. We launched the optimism, we did not think about the, distribution, so it's okay. We have to do it.
And I feel like this is more of miscommunication between fundraising and and this grant and the dev teams, and we just need to build out. What?
It's not even the first one for Optimism, like this whole and like we're rewarding people who add their Cello address. Like nobody told anybody that. So
Well,
like
we don't know for sure that we get the money for that.
for Optimism, you told me
For Optimism we will, but for Cello we don't.
I'm talking about for Optimism, but it's like this is like yeah, there's bad communication between fundraising, development, and comms. And like, even though I'm trying to go to all these calls and stuff like that, that needs to be resolved. There needs to be someone responsible in fundraising who can like create a clear outline of requirements after a grant is approved and pass it to the development group so that it's not so confusing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we did the initial work. So like we talked with Monique and got like estimates for this work. But then when we get the grant, it was just kind of assumed that, oh yeah, we got estimates. They know what's going on. But like, yeah, I think that we didn't have the follow through.
Yeah.
And just for information, I think Watabe approved that the silo is also done. No, I can send you the link here.
KYC is done for giving rewards to the donors or the rewards to projects who have their recipient address.
Yeah, I pasted his PM here. If you take a look, because we paused the silo and right now we have to work. Okay, I don't want to waste your time.
Yeah, no. See, he didn't even. That's. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think that message to me isn't like, okay, we're unblocked. It's like, most likely, maybe something. Which is like, and then since then, like I've been asking Gas about the other part of the grant that's supposed to be giving money to project recipient addresses and stuff. But so I think that's we still have to wait on Cello. But at this point, it's like more of a comms thing, right? Like we're not doing anything else more for Cello from a development standpoint, right, Monique?
We're just adding the list of the tokens.
Right.
And from Cello's side, they say like, hey, if they see adoption here, then they are excited to like maybe make a second grant for, doing give power and give backs and all that on the Cello chain. So, but they want to see the numbers first.
Well, I want them to pay us first, so maybe they could do that so we can be done with at least this first deliverable of it and even announce it. It's like really getting to a point where it's been like up for like what, a month, and we haven't been able to announce it because of like really poor coordination on the fundraising side.
Yep. Well, our KYC was denied. I mean, like, you know.
But I also just don't see anybody pushing it, except for me, which is very annoying.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
often I
Kataba's pushing
ask,
it.
and then
But
I bug Katabe, and then Katabe asks, you know? It's like,
yeah.
all right, I'm going to stop being salty about fundraising now, and let's move on to talking about the Give stream, which I think is actually on staging. And any blockers? Or we're good?
No, yeah, we are on the staging and we can plan for the release. I think we can release it tomorrow. All right, Monique?
Yes, I was thinking that Metal will prepare it until tomorrow, and we can have single release, but apparently we have to do it tomorrow without the silo.
Okay.
Is it because we already have the Cello token list ready, Monique, or it's because it's not ready yet?
Silo token is ready. The rest of the list, we need some just pricing problems in the monoswap and do some migration. It's not a big deal, you know. We can do it because it's kind of migration from the backend side, and no need to do some versioning in the front end, unless some logos and etc. So we can do it tomorrow, no problem.
Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, awesome. And then, so I wanted to also, okay, like moving on to other things, there's this, oh, great, it's done. Never mind. Cool. Okay, we've allocated rewards. Nice. We allocated rewards to the Give Power Unipool. Yay. That's it. All right, Give Power on Optimism. So we just talked about this, and I guess it's not as high a priority as the givebacks thing, but I don't know, maybe we can still check in on it. I mean, have you made any progress on multi-chain Give Power?
I work on the microservice. I'm still deploying, developing the writing test for it. This week I was busy with my personal stuff, but it's on my main thread of working this week.
Cool.
You know, it's not a simple service. It will be complicated and needs some. You know, I should expand my knowledge because it needs new design of database, and it should be something like what a subgraph node is doing, that saves balances in different time ranges. So it's so technical, I don't want to go deep, but it will be able to respond user balance in different times. For instance, you can query that, okay, give me this user power for yesterday. And it will be able to respond you by the user balance on all the chains.
That sounds good.
Yeah. It will make it easier for Impact Graph to take a snapshot, because we can query that, okay, please give us the user balance on the snapshot time, only that. And it will make Impact Graph lighter, and we don't need to do something that we are doing like right now, like finding a block number and query subgraph by that block number. Till now, most of my job was searching and fixing technical issues, because it was new for me to work with that kind of data type on the Postgres.
Cool. Well, it sounds good. Sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and do you need any support? Are you blocked by anything? It sounds
No,
just like
thank you.
great. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. Let's talk about Giveth Pro. I think I'll just pass it to you, Mitch, so you can tell us like what you need or where you're at. Yeah, passing it to you.
Great. Let's look at this here. So there's two things we need to resolve. Let me just change the screen up, share. Yeah, this one. Okay. So there was lots of good comments from like Amin and Nick that we need to resolve. I think I worked through most of your comments. Amin, the big one was, well, the first one was that we would like alias the projects on chain not by their recipient address but by their project ID. And I think that was your comment there. So if that works, then that's no problem. Yeah, and then there was a big one here that you were saying. Let's see, what was it? Sorry.
The one regarding that multi-person can what's the term? Upgrade the project, because we cannot block a project by the first upgrader.
Can I
Is it
ask
what
why
you mean?
can I ask why we'd want to make a new mapping with the project ID instead of the recipient address? This is because they can
Because
change their recipient address.
Recipient address can be different on different chains, and it's not unique. And that recipient address maybe is the project owner doesn't have any control maybe on the recipient address. Who knows? Maybe it's
that was it.
Exchange address.
Like,
who knows?
Okay.
If we, yeah, because then we kind of like force them to like have a single chain that they sign up with, and it can be different and it can change, and like it can get sort of complicated.
And we're confident the project ID won't change on people?
No, project IDs are permanent on the database. The project are, unless we delete it and recover it, and that doesn't happen. Maybe we need to see this in the smart contract, that the admin can change, move the credential of a project to another ID. We should see this in case happens. That it hasn't happened right till now, that the project ID changed. If we pass
It's
it,
okay.
the important thing for me is, we cannot allow only one person to upgrade the project, because I create a project.
That's what I want to get here. I want to get to that.
Yeah, that makes sense. We can pass. We can skip this. I get it. Project ID is cool.
Yeah. So this was the other point. Amin was saying it's like when only one deposit can be made at a time, and the deposit can be made by somebody that's not the project owner. There's like a small vector there where basically like a random person could haze a project by like very rapidly like withdrawing and depositing. And it just like, it might like spam our notification system. It might just like make it so the project owner is not actually able to upgrade their project themselves. And they're always having to like compete with this other person who's like maybe trying to harass them, or somebody just trying to mess with the system. So that was like a point that Amin brought up, so that there has to be a way that multiple people can deposit on a project. So multiple people could deposit for the same project on a contract level. Like we might not let them be able to do it on the UI, but at least allowing that somehow, so that like a project owner is not blocked from upgrading their own project with their own Give tokens. So that's kind of the main point.
Yeah, and the project will be downgraded when the number of upgraders becomes 0. When all of the upgraders withdraw their money.
Yeah. So I know something that Griff brought up before was like trying to tokenize the membership, I guess, something like that. So creating a token for it. And so I was looking at maybe pulling some functions from like an ERC 1155, where, because they have a token ID, which is a UN 256 which can be a massive amount, and maybe the token ID could represent a project ID, since they're just simple numbers in that way. And then basically you allow for minting and burning and transferring of those token IDs. So basically people pay the upgrade price. Go ahead.
That's super cool. I love it.
Yeah. So then basically people would mint a token ID that matches the project ID that they want to upgrade. They pay the upgrade price, and then we mint this thing. We mint this, and it says like, this project is in. We have to create some mappings because the token ID has to have some information. It has to say who the depositor address was and what was the price that they paid, so that they're able to burn that and claim that unique deposit price back for a given address, because we can mint that same NFT multiple times, and the price might be different for each person that minted it, because the upgrade price can change. So that's what I've got. So like you have this, you mint an NFT for project ID 256. We have a mapping that says the address that deposited it and how much that they paid to upgrade it. When they want to withdraw, when they want to burn their token, the depositor address burns that specific one, and they get that specific upgrade price that's was mapped to their depositor address. And then we assume that eligibility is defined when the balance of a certain token ID is greater than 0, right? When there's 0 tokens minted of a certain token ID, then we can assume nobody has minted or like upgraded that project.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's what I got. And I'm sure Amin's going to think of something. He's like, oh, there's this there.
No, that's good. No, I'm not so familiar with the 1155. I should read that, because Solid is not so flexible. It sometimes makes you mad. It's crazy. Wow, why I cannot, for instance, concat these two numbers very easily, and something like that, the two strings. And let me. I should read the code of a simple NFT, and if we can type with Court, maybe he has better ideas in template matching. Or we don't have Pablo. Pablo was good. Or Sam. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We also have Nuggin has been doing a lot of smart contract work too. You could ask him as well.
Nuggin? What? Who is it?
Nuggin.
Nuggin.
I don't think he's done anything for Giveth before, but he used to work a lot in the TC and works on proposal inverter mostly for general magic.
Oh.
Cool. I'd probably get Kurt just to look at it, since he's already like semi-familiar. But yeah. Anyway. Yes.
One question on the gifting, like so if someone supports Giveth Pro for another project, do they transfer the 1155 to the project owner?
They could just do it, upgrade it. But if they want to transfer it, then we have a transfer function that basically changes the depositor address on the mapping, right?
So that wouldn't be, but I mean, I think we should just pick one or the other. Either they keep it or they transfer it, for the user experience.
Well, you can have both. It doesn't add much complexity. You just have a transfer function that changes the depositor address to the new recipient, and then basically that person is able to withdraw, able to burn that NFT and claim the deposit price.
And
the project will be constant. You don't want to transfer to another project. Only the ownership out there.
Exactly. So the token ID remains the same. We just change that mapping that has the depositor address.
Okay. Yeah, so I agree.
And does the, I mean, when someone upgrades to Giveth Pro, they have to like customize their Giveth Pro page, right? There's like an action that they need to take.
Yeah. So like the upgrade happens on like a contract level, but then on the front end, it's like the project owner has to see and then like accept it, and then they start the process. It doesn't just like happen automatically.
The issue with like gifting someone it is it feels like, you know, the owner might just need to, like, it could be downgraded without the owner knowing, and then like
Yeah.
that means they have to, you know, I feel like that's kind of a problem.
So what I had in
Yeah,
there
we
was
should-
like a 30-day grace period.
Mm.
So like if we do it this way where it's not like a full, like I'm giving you these give tokens sort of thing, it's like we can give them a grace period. It might be 30 days, it might be 2 months, it might be whatever,
Hmm.
where the project has time to react. So it's not just downgraded instantly. It's like they're notified and they're given like a good amount of time to like react to that, I guess.
Okay.
you know, implementing that 30-day, we can go for it. It adds complexity, but I don't think that why we shouldn't immediately undowngrade them. We will have the information, we can save the information, you know, it will be good intention for the user, project owner, to
I mean,
to stake the token themselves, not rely on another gift.
I mean,
Go
this
ahead.
is why I feel like the give tokens, we should just make it a forced gift. Like you can only give them it, and the only person who can downgrade is the project owner. You know, like it, I think it just makes a really way cleaner user experience, and like eliminates some weird edge cases that's like, you know, that I feel like we have to design for.
Yeah, actually, the downgrading happens on the contract. So, you know, someone withdraw the money, so we should on the application downgrade the project automatically. Mitch
Sure.
says that we should give them 30 days grace days, but I think let's make it 0. Make our application simpler and force the project owner to provide
mean,
liquidity itself.
Let's just like go to like bigger up. It's like, okay, I'm down if we think that we should just like have the person actually donate those tokens, right? And so that's what it is. They donate those tokens and give them the upgrade. So then the project owner has control of this deposit now, and they're able to keep it. They're able to maintain their upgrade status as long as they want,
Yeah.
and also withdraw those tokens, which is fine.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of the narrative we have with Give Power, where it's like, you know, supporting projects without sacrificing, you know? And so it's like you still maintain control of those Give tokens, but you're also like supporting projects. So that's just like the angle that I was coming from. I'm okay if it's like not really that important and we go with the simple solution, but at least that was my thought.
I didn't get the relation to give power.
Well, because Give Power, it's like you use your Give tokens and stake them behind a project, but you still maintain control of those Give tokens. So you're supporting a
yes.
project without giving away your tokens, right? You still maintain control of it.
Yeah.
So that was like,
Yeah.
we could apply that idea to Giveth Pro, but as you said, it adds complexity. Or we could just say, okay, when you are gifting Giveth Pro to a project, you're donating those tokens, right? In a sense. We could go that route.
Yeah.
There are two different routes, and there may be more philosophical or narrative, but like that's the way that I look at it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And keep it simple. Keep it simpler. And you know, Give Power is complex. It has yield farming. It's a locking. Is still complex, and we don't want to add something on top of it. Maybe it's yeah.
I know.
I
I know.
also
I sorry. Maybe I confused you. You didn't mean to add complexity to give power, but I get your point.
yeah. I don't think like what I found from the strategy meeting is I don't think this is going to have a big priority. That's what I think. Like if we're looking at our metrics and everything, like I don't know how this is going to stack up. So I don't want to take up a lot of time on this, but if we can think about at least the contract architecture and then like have a good spec to start working on it when we're ready. But I don't think we're really realistically have bandwidth for it. I'm curious what Lauren thinks on this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like we need to talk about it more. I have like I'm also like, where does this get in the priorities? Because I want to know if for sure we're going to be using this as like a requirement for QF or not. Because I'm like really trying to push that. So if Giveth Pro becomes a blocker for QF, then it's like we need to like prioritize our resources around it that way. But yeah, I just like hard to decide that personally.
And that's the big thing, right?
I think it should be a requirement for QF. It's true. I really do. And that's the thing is that mostly because it'd be really hard to add it later, you know?
Yeah.
And then because then it feels like we're taking something away from users. And so it really should be there before.
Okay. What do you think, Monique? I see your mouth open.
Just my idea is that we have to only focus on the QF and deliver it as soon as possible. Without anything.
Yeah, I mean that's what's at the top of the list. So we have to like figure that out. Because I mean Griff's right, and so is Monique in a way. So it's like if you want to make this a requirement for QF, then you have to build Giveth Pro first. But QF is at the top of our list of things to do, according to the token log. I don't think we're going to be able to make a decision on this call, but there's one more thing I wanted to add to the mix. Moving away from the spec, there was another issue around user research. I think I talked to you about this last week, Lauren. So kind of doing what we did with Give Savings, I just drafted like 3 questions, just trying to get feedback from people. My biggest thing is picking a better name for this. I think we can do better than Giveth Pro, but the next thing is like what kinds of features, like what are the best features that people are actually willing to lock, quote unquote, lock their give up for, and how much would they be willing to pay, essentially. So I think this will help us with the prioritization, because like some feedback from Marco, which was interesting, is like, and I think I heard this from Mo as well, like is this single project page upgrade, like are people actually going to be willing to, stake their give tokens for these upgrades? Or is this just something that we need to do to upgrade the basic project? Are they more interested in quadratic funding eligibility? Are they interested in, the NFT integration or something else that we've never even thought about, Because if people are really not willing to upgrade or to Giveth Pro just to get, discussion threads and project analytics, then like maybe we can unblock the single project page development by not making it a requirement.
Hey, so I can make these questions on Twitter, like make Twitter polls and try to like fine tune them a little. That's what you're thinking, right? Or you want to also create like a survey?
I don't think this is worth making a survey for. I think it would be cool just using it as like an engagement tool.
Okay.
I also thought like, maybe like a naming contest or whatever, but I know I'm not a comms person, but I'd like to like leverage some creativity to find a better name than Giveth Pro.
Cool.
Just a heads up, guys, and we start single project page because of 2 epics that get prioritized by the give holders. One is project discussions, and another is projects refactoring and adding more info to it. And it takes long on the design side, and it came out in this design that you can name it project single page revamping experience. And another epic was the maps, because of these 3 epics that is get prioritized in the backlog, I just started working on the design of this with more. So please keep in mind that the project, the GIF holders, according to the users, need these features, and tell us that, hey, we need somewhere to add socials, we need somewhere to have feedbacks from the users, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this user research can kind of go out at the same time that we refine the smart contract stuff. And then we can make some better utility decisions for it on the other side.
Okay. I can bring this also to, I'll bring it to Colin. We'll see if Ahmed has ideas as well. It's how we can
I tagged her on it. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, cool.
Maybe I also just, I won't take the last 6 minutes unless you have something else, Lauren.
I do. I wanted to talk about the quadratic funding backend epic.
Yeah, just take it. This isn't that important.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so the last thing I just wanted to check in on was with you, Monique and Mohammed. I saw the issue on the impact graph changes for quadratic funding. Something. And just wanted to make sure that everything is clear, or any follow-up that needed to be happened. I know you wanted to bring it up in this call as well.
I think Mohammed is okay to start some issues. I think that we can do it. At least changes in the DB, some changes in the regular services that we currently have, until we wait for the front-end design to see if some needed has to be done. Then we create another issues. At least for now, I think we can go ahead, and it's a good news.
Okay, sounds good. So basically just this, right? Number 980 in the impact graph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Take a
cool.
look. Please comment, and everyone is welcome to comment, because it's a little bit technical, but usually try to cover all the changes that we currently maybe have.
Okay. So great. Okay, that sounds good. Anything else? So just review it. It seems like you guys have it all understood, and that's it. And I'll just take a look at it then, and we can do that async, right? Okay. Yeah, and then the only other things I had on the agenda are just checking in on you, Mitch, on the treasury management, and mentioning that I've been talking to Index Coop, and yeah, they had some blockers, blah blah blah, but this is they're gonna still build that thing where they can maybe redirect some funds to the Giveth matching pool. It's just a small coordination piece, not a lot of progress there. So Mitch, yeah, I can pass it back to you if you want to take the last 4 minutes on the Giveth Pro stuff or on treasury management. That's all I have.
Is Griff still on this call?
No.
He left. I started setting up the transactions. I don't know, maybe you guys saw it on the DSIG, but I need that die to come through so that I can request it out. I made a fresh address to do the treasury management, so it might look like a new Ethereum address, but it's one that I own. So that's it. I made a request to transfer all those assets out, everything, all the Yarn Vault tokens, all of the ETH, all the USDC, and then I just need that DAI to come in to request it out to this new address, and then I just kind of will do everything strategically when gas is good, according to what we said we would do in the forum.
That's good. Wait, what's blocking the DAI?
It's in the optimism bridge, and Griffiths was supposed to be waiting until gas is lower to withdraw it.
Okay.
So that's the blocker. Because we said we were going to put in 100K die, so we're about 70K short from what we actually have in the multi-sigs right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's Kotabi mentioned yesterday. There's 20K on our Cello multi-sig as well. That can be done something with. So maybe worth checking out what exists on Cello or bridge it somewhere else.
Okay.
Yep, that's what I got. And we
Great.
can leave it there. Actually, that's fine.
Okay, and then we have 2 more minutes left. Are there any other things we should talk about?
I think we have to have the strategy stand up before Monday morning. If you guys agree, I suggest that we change the release date of the QF a little bit sooner, maybe early next month, and we focus on delivering because it's going to be clear. I think, you know, we can have the early version and kind of MVP very soon.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. Let's coordinate in our PM chat, and I can set up a time also like before Monday morning or whatever. We could do it even just like Monday early morning, kind of have a little bit of a debate.
I think that's too early. That's 7 a.m. here. The DAPS call is at 8 a.m. for me.
Same for me.
Monday.
We
So
can
that's
start
7
3
a.m.
minutes later, and we have the dev call only 30 minutes. I really want to increase the amount of the meetings with the devs during the week. So I start with myself and decrease the time of the meeting into 30. So in the first 30 minutes, we can talk about the strategy.
Okay.
I think we'll need an hour at this point. With still lots of stuff we haven't figured out. So I think we need an hour for now.
Kind of stand up, Mitch.
Well, we have to, the prioritization table, the scope, there's lots of like setup things we haven't decided yet, so.
Yeah, you know, we can do it on Tuesday, but you know, kind
Oh,
of.
I see what you mean. We'll do the stand up before the call, and then we can have our regular call on the Tuesday. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the top of our call. Guys, thanks so much for joining. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you maybe in the next call. I have more calls.